Imagine you're sitting in your car outside Target at 9:47 p.m. on a Wednesday. You're staring at your banking app, doing poverty math to see if you can afford $43 worth of laundry detergent and toothpaste without hitting an overdraft fee. While you're stressing, your coworker Sarah just posted a photo from Cabo. Again! You have the same job, the same salary, and you pay the same rent. So what's the secret? Is she a secret heiress? Is she drowning in credit card debt? Usually the answer is simpler and way more annoying. Sarah understood the 1% rule years ago. She made one boring decision that took 30 minutes to set up, and now she's on track to be a multi-millionaire while you're rationing toiletries. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on the 1% financial difference that the wealthy use every day, but the average person, who is currently carrying $9,000 in credit card debt, completely ignores. The 1% rule isn't about being in the top 1% of earners, it's about the 1% margin. Most people think building wealth requires a massive inheritance or a 200 IQ. But look at Ronald Read. He was a gas station attendant and janitor who never made more than $20,000 a year. He drove a rusty Toyota Yaris and held his jacket together with safety pins. When he died, the hospital expected a small donation. Instead, he left them $4.8 million. His total estate was worth over $8 million. He didn't find a magic stock, he just bought dividend-paying stocks every week for 70 years and never sold. He understood that wealth is not what you earn, it's the tiny percentage of your income you defend from the world. The average person saves 6% of their income. If you can just push that to 7% or 10%, you aren't just saving more, you are fundamentally changing your trajectory. So, if the math is so easy, why aren't we all millionaires? Because your brain is literally trying to keep you poor. Harvard researchers found something called the bandwidth tax. When you're stressed about money, your brain is so busy running survival spreadsheets that you actually perform 13 IQ points worse on cognitive tests. Financial scarcity doesn't just make you stressed, it literally makes you dumber while you're experiencing it. This is why people agree to a $1,076 monthly truck payment just because a salesman asks, "What payment works for you?" You sign the papers because that truck smells like success, and for 10 weeks you feel great. But researchers call this hedonic adaptation. The happiness boost fades in 3 months, but that $1,000 payment stays for 72 months, slowly draining your ability to ever be free. Every $1,000 you send to the bank for a depreciating truck is actually $15,000 of your future retirement wealth being set on fire. Now here is the part where the rich really stay quiet: the fee scam. Let's say you do start investing $500 a month. If you put that into an actively managed fund with a 1% fee, you might end up with $915,000 after 30 years. But if you put it into a low-cost index fund with a 0.03% fee, you end up with $1.124 million. That tiny 1% difference in fees cost you $209,000. That's $250,000 that went to a fund manager's bonus instead of your retirement. The rich don't use fancy managers. They use boring index funds like VOO or SWPPX that cost almost nothing. They buy one index fund and ignore it for 40 years. The financial industry makes $0 when you do that, which is why they will never tell you the solution is this boring. The goal isn't just to be cheap. The goal is to cross the $5,000 a month threshold where survival mode ends and strategic mode begins. When you have a savings buffer, you stop being desperate. You get your brain back. Those 13 IQ points being consumed by "can I afford this" get freed up, and suddenly you're negotiating better contracts and seeing opportunities you were too exhausted to notice before. You're no longer in the "one emergency away from disaster" club. When the check engine light comes on, it's just an annoyance, not a catastrophe. You pay the $1,100 repair bill and move on with your life because you have the margin to handle it. Start today. Open a Roth IRA at Fidelity, Vanguard, or Schwab. It takes 20 minutes. Automate $500 or even $50 to go into a low-cost S&P 500 fund on the first of every month. The version of you that exists 40 years from now is either checking an account with $3 million in it, or they are working at Home Depot at age 74 because they needed the health insurance. One version of you is free, and the other is trapped. The only difference between those two people is what you do in the next 30 minutes. The system isn't broken. It's working exactly as designed to keep you trapped in car payments and subscriptions. You can choose not to step into the trap. The choice is yours. The math doesn't wait, and neither should you.